Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Leung. So in this video, we are going to talk about the chapter 14 questions in the textbook. So the main topic of this chapter is growth and development. So let's take a look at the general overall picture of this chapter first. So for this chapter, the main theme is growth and development. So that's why the definition we need to be clarified. Irreversible increase in mass, irreversible increase in complexity. So that's why we need to recall the concept of cell division. That means increase the cell number, cell enlargement, increase in the cell size, and cell differentiation. That means increase the type of the cells. And after that, we need to focus the growth and development in two different types of organisms, including plants and human. So after that, we need to do the comparison between plants and the animal. So any similarity or any difference between plants growth and development and human growth and development. And then for this topic, the main focus is the plant, because we talk a lot about the seed germination, it's to become seedlings. So how can the seedling grow up to be a big tree? So that's why we start from the seed germination, and after that we talk about how can the plant growth or development. So that's why we mentioned the meristem. The undifferentiated cells undergo cell division. So that's why we need to know the location of the meristem, the tip of the root and the shoot, and also in the periphery of the stems and root. And then after that, we need to learn some basic measurement of growth, size or fresh mass and dry mass. So we need to know the advantages or the disadvantages of using those methods. So that's the overall picture of this chapter. So I hope that once you do the revision, at least you have a simple checklist. You need to know that this part I know it, this part I clarify the misconception, this part I can do the comparison, this part I can recall the definition a lot. So let's take a look at the questions. So let's take a look at 1A. So it's talking about the meristem consists of differentiated cells capable of carrying out mitotic cell division. So for the meristem and the mitotic cell division, these two concepts, they are correct. They can be connected to each other. But for the differentiated cells, actually, which is wrong. So in the section of meristem, you can see that a meristem is a group of undifferentiated cells which are able to divide by mitotic cell division. So in the true or false question, at least they mention about the meristem, they mention about the mitotic cell division, but you can see that the cells, they should be undifferentiated. So that's why for 1A, which is wrong. And then for question 1B, question 1B is talking about increase the length of the root, mainly due to the increase of cell number in the region of cell division. What if we only mention the region of cell division, increase the cell number? This part is correct. But increasing the cell number will not need to increase in length of the root. Actually, increase in length or increase in size of the root or the shoot or the whole plant, it depends on the cell elongation, the cell enlargement. So that's why for 1B is also wrong. And how can we correct the statements? So you can take a look here. So for statement 1, the meristem consists of undifferentiated cells capable of carrying out mitotic cell division. And for statement 2, increase in length of the root is mainly due to increase in the size of the cells in the region of cell elongation. So that's the concept we need to clarify in these two true or false questions. So in the question 2, I will extract it to another video to explain the whole concept of this experiment. Not only talking about the seed germination, but also try to clarify the independent variable, dependent variable, and also the control variable. So you can take a look. Stay tuned for next video. So let's move on to question 3. So for question 3, the diagram, it shows the young root, and for the part 1, 2, 3, 4, so we need to do the matching. Which part is the region with the most type of the cells, and also which region with active cell division. So for the good practice, 1, 2, 3, 4, what are they? So for the region 1 is the region of differentiation. So that means the cells, they will develop into different types of cells. So some of them will develop into root hair, some of them will they develop into xylem vessels or phloem vessels. And then for region 2 is the region of elongation. The cells become bigger, longer, cell enlargement. And then for number 3, which is the meristem. So that's the region of cell division, as what we have just said in the true or false question. And then for number 4, which is the root cap, right, to protect the root tip. So for options A, B, C, D, for the region with the most type of the cells, of course, it should be the region of differentiation. The cells, okay, so they develop into different types of the cell to increase the complexity of the plant. And then that's why the answer should be A or B. Okay, C, D, they are wrong. And then for the region with active cell division, recall the concept, okay, in the meristem in the first question, okay, the true or false question, part A. So you see that it should be the meristem, because the meristem, they are a group of undifferentiated cells capable of doing cell division, mitotic cell division. So that's why the answer is A. Okay, so let's take a look at the other two true or false question. 1A is that the fresh mass of a plant varies with different light intensity. So we call the contents in the textbook. So let's see what will affect the fresh mass. In the book, it's talking about that the fresh mass of an organism is easily affected by its water content, because fresh mass, it implies that that's the mass including the water content. The water content varies with the different environmental condition. For example, the temperature. For example, the availability of the water in the soil. So once the soil is so dry, so somehow the plant cannot absorb sufficient water, so the fresh mass will become lower. And also the activity of the organism. For example, for human being, okay, if we drink a lot, or we excrete, or we urinate a lot, so we also suffer from a high water loss. Okay, so that's why for this concept, feeding, drinking, we can gain water. Excretion, urination, so somehow we shall lose water. So according to this concept, and then we go back to the question, you may think that Mr. Leung, I think 1A should be wrong, because from the book, okay, it talks about varies with the water content in the organism, but not with the light intensity. But in the textbook, okay, in that paragraph, it also mentioned that the water content varies with the different environmental factor. So light intensity, of course, it is a type of environmental factor. So that's why we need to recall the relationship between the light intensities and the water content of the plants. So for the plant, we talk about the light intensity and the water content. So we need to recall the concept of transpiration, the water loss. So the basic concept is that what we learn in this chapter is if the light intensity is higher, very sunny day, a bright day, okay, so somehow the stomata will open wider, and then that's why the water loss will also become greater. So of course it will affect the fresh mass of the plant. So that's why this statement is true. And then for question 1B, it's talking about the dry mass of the steelling. So how can we collect, or how can we get the dry mass? So in this question, it's talking about, we just plot the steelling, okay, to become dry and remove the excess water. So in this question, the concept checking is checking the method. do you know the correct method to remove all the water in the organism? So we can also take a look from the book. How can we obtain the dry mass? The dry mass can be found by heating an organism in an oven, or put it in an oven at slightly above 100 degrees Celsius until a constant mass is obtained. So maybe some book is talking about slightly above 100 degrees Celsius. In some book is talk about 105 degrees Celsius. It doesn't matter, both of them are correct. So that's why the correct method should be like this. We try to heat it up, dry it until a constant mass is obtained. So that's why we just do not use the tissue paper to so-called plot dry the excess water on the ceiling, and then I can get the dry mass. No, not this case. And then for question 2, it's talking about which one should be the relatively reliable parameter to measure the growth of a person. So we try to eliminate some impossible answer first. So hair length, of course, is wrong. It's not reliable. So imagine that, if someone, they keep the long hair, so they are growing, because the hair is growing longer and longer. But what about someone shave all the hair, cut it very short? So can we say that it is a reversible growth? We cannot say so, right? And then also for IQ, actually for normal person, for our brain development, so somehow is complete at 3 to 5 years old. So at that moment, maybe our IQ, is a bit fixed. So can we say that, so the growth, somehow stop at 3 to 5 years old? No, we cannot say that. So that's why for C and D, they are not that reliable, because when you are a teenager at the puberty, so your height, your weight is growing. The length of your limbs, your arms, your legs is also increasing, right? So for A and B, body height and the waistline. So the basic concept is that waistline B is also wrong, because for example, I have several meals, in one day, or actually all the meals are the perfect. Okay? So that's why I will have a larger waistline. So actually, it doesn't mean that I grow up a lot. Or what about I get starved for a long time? I did not eat anything for 1 week, 2 weeks. So somehow I become slimmer, right? But it doesn't mean that, Mr. Leung, you are experiencing reversible growth. No, it's not the case. So that's why only A is a bit reliable. It's a bit reliable, especially for the teenager. Their growth, is rapid. So that's why the height is increasing rapidly. The growth is also rapid. That's why the answer is A. So for the last question, is talking about for the graph ABCD, which one can correctly show the change in the dry mass of the plumule and the radicle of the germinating seed. So when the seed is undergoing germination, so the plumule and the radicle, they will grow. So for the plumule, grow into shoot, radicle grow into root. So we have this basic concept first. So after that, there are two thinking logics to help us to determine which graph is correct. For the first one, is talking about the radicle and the plumule, which one grow first. So in the lesson, we mentioned that it should be the radicle, because radicle, it will grow into the root, and then it will help the plant to absorb water, absorb minerals, and also for the anchorage for the plant, for the seedlings. So the radicle will grow out first. So for the graph ABCD, so we can see that the answer either A or C will be correct, because for the roots, they should grow up a bit earlier than the plumule. So that's why the curve should be a bit higher than the plumule, because they grow faster. And then for A and C, any difference between the curve of the plum meal. So you can see that for the graph A, the plum meal, the dry mass slightly drop a bit, and then there will be a fast increase, a rapid increase. And then for the graph C, so you can see that for the increase of the plum meal is a bit steady, alright, it's a bit steady, but at later on there will be a rapid growth. So which one should be correct? So the concept, we need to think about the logic. Number 2, the food supply, where does it come from? The food supply is provided from the cotyledon, the seed leaf, but not from the plum meal. So that's why the food storage in the cotyledon is used up to provide the nutrients to the plum meal and radicle to grow, but not from the plum meal. So the plum meal only receive the nutrients and then grow up. So that's why for graph A is wrong, because for the initial or at the very beginning it shows a slightly drop, which is wrong. It should keep increasing. And then why for this part there is a rapid increase? Because the plum meal, there may be the green leaves and then undergo the photosynthesis, produce more food, and then for itself to grow up faster than before. So that's why the answer is C. So remember that for the experiment question of the seed germination, I will extract it and then make another new video. If you have any problems, so just leave it below, so I will answer you as soon as possible. See you next time. Bye bye.